Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. For those of us who are Americans, we just celebrated Thanksgiving, but regardless of where you are in the world, this is a perfect time to pause, acknowledge everything we have to be thankful for, and give praise to the one who gives us every good and perfect gift. Welcome to Bible Memory Goal. My name is Josh, and this week I have our first ever promotion I'm excited to share with you. But before we do that, I hope you don't mind, I'm going to tell you a story. It's a story you might already know, but I encourage you to listen with fresh ears as I share this. I've told the story before of being detained and interrogated in China for my faith, and I realized that because of that, I have an extreme sensitivity to stories of people who have been imprisoned or locked up, particularly unfairly, by an oppressor. The story of Daniel in the Bible is one such instance where it's really easy for many of us to forget the full circumstances of Daniel and his fellow countrymen. Yes, he was set in a high position in King Darius's court, as we're told in the beginning of Daniel 6. And yes, he was one of 3 governors or administrators, based on the translation you read, who directly reported to the king and who managed about 40 princes under them. But no matter what role he was given, you have to keep in mind that at the end of the day, Daniel is a slave in a foreign country, a foreigner whose rights were limited and who was constantly under surveillance and suspicion. But his role as a governor gave him a front row seat to the negotiations of a new statute forbidding petitions to any god or man except the king for 30 days. He wasn't unaware, he wasn't caught off guard by any of this, because he likely sat in among all of the government officials who argued for the exact wording of this law before it was signed. So in light of this, I think that makes Daniel 6 verse 10 such a special verse. Listen as I recite this for you. Now, when Daniel learned that the decree had been published, he went home to his upstairs room where the windows opened towards Jerusalem. 3 times a day he got down on his knees and prayed, giving thanks to his God just as he had done before. Did you notice something incredible there? With full knowledge of the trap that was being set and the consequences that would follow, he did something contrary to what I think most of us would have done. I don't know about you, but if I were Daniel, even if I was bold enough to go continue praying from my window in full view of those spying eyes, I probably would have spent that time praying for God's deliverance. As a slave in a foreign land whose rulers were conspiring against him, I would have asked God to blind their eyes, to thwart their plans, or somehow miraculously return me to Jerusalem. But Daniel gives us an amazing example of what it means to live in thankfulness. He got down on his knees and prayed, giving thanks to his God just as he had done before. Now, I'm not saying we can't come to God with our pleas and requests. But even Paul in Philippians tells us not to be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. With thanksgiving. I'm usually quick to thank God when things are going well, but both Paul and Daniel seem to imply that thanksgiving comes even when you're anxious, even when the situation is dire and you're unfairly enslaved in a foreign land. Even then, give thanks. Your husband was just diagnosed with cancer. You recently lost your job and you don't know how you're going to pay rent. Even then, give thanks. Marriage has been hard. Your kids aren't making good decisions and nothing seems to be going your way. Even then, give thanks. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. Today, I want to encourage you to memorize Philippians 4:6 and maybe even Daniel 6:10 and meditate on it this week. When that overwhelming situation comes up again this year or next year, be ready to quote this to yourself as a reminder to be thankful. Well, thank you for taking some time with me today, and I hope that this was a blessing to you. Here's something else I want you to hear. You don't have to wait until the new year to start being intentional about goals that you've set. You still have a meaningful 4 weeks left in this year where you can memorize a few verses or maybe even a whole chapter of the Bible. And if you need some help, that special promotion I was referring to earlier might be worth checking out. For this week only, I'm offering all of our digital products at a 30% discount to encourage you to get serious about Bible memory. You can download the PDF version of my new book, Memorize What Matters, and learn 12 proven strategies to make memorization easier and fun. You could get 30% off of our 5-part Bible memory training with worksheet downloads and incredible teaching from a number of different people, including myself. Or you can get 30% off of our numbers training, where you can learn a method to remember numbers that will allow you to memorize all 66 books of the Bible, forward and backward. I'm completely serious. You could do that. Or for a 100% discount, you could join our incredible Bible memory community, absolutely free, and find the accountability that might make your progress in Bible memory so much faster and fun. And I'm thankful for you. My prayer is that God's blessings in your life will be clearly evident to you as you finish out this year. I'll see you next week.